recording to the cloud. Amy, I would have been so sad if I forgot. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Well, excellent. So we are recording right now, which will be great for anyone who misses this that wants to jump on. PUC Career Convos, IT Careers, and it is Tuesday, March 2nd, believe it or not, 2021. So let's just jump right in. So we got the virtual housekeeping covered. And I'd like to welcome our expert panelists. We've got an array of talent on this call who I just want to remind the students, they are very busy people and not only have work lives, but have personal lives. And it's 5 p.m. and decided I care about PUC students. I'm going to commit my time to share my story. So I just want to give a shout out and a thank you before we even get started for carving out a piece of your schedule and your family and your work life to be here with PUC School. So thank you all. First, we've got Mr. Darren Bornstein. He's cybersecurity analyst at the Governor's Office of Emergency Services. See, without looking at that, I could not say that whole thing. Is it? Do you guys say Cal OES or do you OS?
Cal OES.
Okay, Cal OES. I'm always interested in how people break down the initials of their organization. Then we've got Ms. Milan Sampawala. She's vice chair of computer science and information technology at LA Mission College. And last but definitely not least, we've got Ms. Jennifer Ramirez. She is a colleague, friend, and she is IT analyst at PUC National. Thank you all for being here today. So we're gonna dive right in. We call this PUC Career Combos because bottom line, we want it to be a conversation. We wanted to have back and forth with the students. And before we really jump in, I wanna just remind everyone, students, why are we here today? Bottom line, we wanna make sure that you are empowered to make career decisions that are informed. So you're going to get career knowledge today. You're going to get insight from people who are professionals, real world experience. It's not a counselor saying, this is what I read about. You're hearing from people in the IT field who can provide color on what they do, as well as other industries and maybe what their colleagues and friends do. We also just want to make sure that you have the opportunity to ask questions. Write them down, put them in the chat. We'll probably address most of them at the end, but again, Ms. Villasenor will be managing the chat for us. So let's jump right in. Information technology, I wrote the whole thing out because I've had some students say to me, you talk about IT, but what is IT? Information technology stands for IT careers. And we're gonna jump in with just getting to know our presenters a little bit more, because I always feel like getting hooked with the story as to if we have a 6th grader on the call, a 12th grader, alumni, a parent, we always wanna know from high school to today, what are the key experiences that help you figure out what you do today? So just professionally, how did you get to where you are today? And we have about 3 questions, so I ask for each of you to share, and I'm gonna ask for Mr. Bornstein to start off on this one, please.
All right. What key experiences helped me figure out what I wanted to do? My story is a bizarre one. I started out as a teacher. Then I became a culinary instructor, and I was watching the network professionals work on the background. Working in the background on the network kind of intrigued me, so I started going over there and talking to them and learned about, bits and bytes and ones and zeros and how information flows and this thing called the OSI layer and all of these things. And it just clicked. It was right there. I was like, I geeked out and I said, that's me. And I, went to college. I went to the Culinary Institute of America. I studied abroad. I gave up being a chef and went into networking and cybersecurity. All because of that one, I just geeked out. That's how I got to where I am today.
Excellent, thank you for sharing. See, students, you don't have to actually know what you're gonna be forever, but you do need to learn all along the way. Excellent, may I please ask Jennifer, would you please share your story?
Sure. I have actually a similar story myself. I actually also right out of high school, going into college, didn't know what I wanted to do, where I was going. I did have, like a job in high school, but it was like worked at an auto parts store. So, any retail jobs, I've worked a few, but still didn't really have an idea of where I wanted to head. So I took a few classes I was just going to community college. I was taking a couple classes. One day I noticed a class for HTML, basic 101 HTML, learning how to write, code for websites. And I took it. I loved the idea of it. And so that put me on like a track. All while I was in school, in college, I was also, I had just also had a part-time job working in an office. I started out at that job as a file clerk, eventually moved into their finance department and was working just an accounting job. So while I was in school, I had this accounting job, and they knew I was going to school for a computer-related item. So years down the line, I actually inquired about joining the IT department because I know what I didn't want to do, and it wasn't accounting. So eventually I was able to get into the IT department, and I learned, honestly, even though my degree has nothing to do with IT, it's web design and multimedia, it actually still, kind of pushed me in that direction. I was kind of wanting to have somewhat of a technology sort of job. Joining the IT department, that's where I learned so much on job, asking questions, kind of like, inquiring about stuff, reading on my own. That helped a lot. So I didn't know, at the beginning, I didn't really know where I wanted to be. I kind of just tried some stuff out, took a couple of, opportunities that came to me, and now here I am today.
Thank you so much, Ms. Ramirez. I appreciate it. Now, Ms. Sempawala, you shared a slide, so I'm gonna just drag yours into my window and let you speak to that.
Sure. So the reason I wanted you to look at the slide is to, we have so many things in common. The two stories from Bernstein and Ramirez were the same as mine. I grew up, I wanted to be an artist, a sculptor. I had no idea that I would love programming because that career did not exist. When I was in high school, it was only arts, commerce, or science. And what did parents want? They wanted you to be a doctor or an engineer or a lawyer. So there were not many. I couldn't possibly say, oh, I want to be an IT person when I grow up. It just did not exist. So that's the first thing I would like you to make note, is that you may not know what you want to be because it just doesn't exist. And that's why the words are not there for the career you will be in. I don't know what kind of careers they'll have on Mars or Moon. And so don't be surprised if you have no idea what you want to do, as long as you have passion. Because you'll notice that I put as a third bullet, jealousy. I was extremely jealous of my husband spending time at a lab learning computer programming. I was newly married, I had a 1-year-old son, and I just did not have enough of his time. So I went to the lab because we didn't have PCs at home. We had to go to the university to say we want to work from this time to this time, and then we would have some lab hours, and then we could work over there on the computers. And my husband would work till 3 in the morning. And when I went with him, I would say, no, what are you doing there? Just put this over there. And he got tired of me interfering in his work and it actually working. And it came to a point, and that's all because I was jealous of my husband's time. So it came to a point where he said, I think you're way too smart to remain as a housewife. I think you should get back to studying. I go, I have a master's in physics, which I'm not using. What point would that make, But computer science, I just enrolled, didn't have to take any undergraduate courses, just got my master's. It was like made for me. So all throughout my life, I have balanced personal life and career, not at the same time, But every time I had to, so I would not balance at the same time having a career and a personal life. I could do much better by having a job, then taking time off for family, then having a job and taking time off. And as you would know, this kind of opportunity is not available for anybody other than who would be in IT and would pick up the new technology as they went along in life. So it has been easy for me, which I will be explaining with the next question, how I could pick up skills and come back into the career and take time off, 2-3 years off, be with the family, come back to the career, take time off, come back. Where would you get such flexibility? So.
Great point. I'm a mom of a 4.5-year-old and an 8-year-old, so they may jam in here and say hello to us, but that flexibility is not found everywhere. Thank you for sharing. Okay, as I drag this over here and hopefully click on, okay, excellent. As we were talking, real world experience. I think one of the main reasons why we had this series, this Career Convo series, is to hear from experts in the field. It's one thing for a counselor, a teacher, myself, Ms. Villaseñor, to say, I know someone, or this is what I found online, but hearing from the experts. Could you please paint a picture of what your day looks like? And if, depending on what level you are, what it might look like for someone that starts in the field right out of getting a certificate degree, and then what your day sounds like, because we've got some people that are teaching at this level or at the upper level. So maybe this time I'll start with Ms. Ramirez. Please.
Perfect. Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. My day, I try to kind of address any emails or calls or messages in the first half of the day, trying to tackle any issues that have come up, any issues that have spilled over from the days prior, try to get that squared away, and any calls that come in, any messages that come in, prioritize them. A lot of dealing with time management is a huge thing you want to get really good at. It's time management, and organizing, huge. So that's most of my day, is kind of just going through any issues that people are having, resolving issues from previous days, any projects that I'm currently working on, larger projects that are not necessarily one day specific. They can go on for weeks and months, kind of hit on those, try to keep up with those as much as possible. And even though we're in a pandemic, my day hasn't really changed terribly much. I'm actually still in the office. I actually still visit the office every day. I'm actually here right now. And even when there are individuals in the office or outside of the office, you would still have meetings throughout the day. Sometimes you have to just take impromptu time to meet with your supervisors or other colleagues of yours, because you just need to hash out something or try to figure out a problem, seeing what they've experienced, if they know any solutions, that type of thing. It's helpful when you have more than one person to kind of bounce off ideas with, to see what works, what doesn't, and to be able to solve the problems as quickly as possible. Because that's exactly what you want, and I know I want throughout my day, is to finish the day with being able to resolve issues quickly and easily, so that people can continue on with their day, because my job is to keep everybody kind of their work going along as well. If anything happens with their computers or anything connected to their computers, it can be a problem for them to continue to work. And it's important I know for me personally, it's important for me to be able to help anybody that I can, and as thoroughly as I can, so that they can continue with what they need to do.
Excellent, and thank you, Ms. Ramirez. You addressed, oh, I'm so sorry.
Yes. Oh, I was going to say, my job is probably similar to someone starting out too. Probably a lot of handling specific issues with either users that are a part of your organization, like in my case, my users, my customers are technically employees. They're the same people that I work with. But in other cases, if you're starting out, a lot of the times you're working with maybe people that are calling into your company for help. But it would be similar to what I experience every day, handling issues depending on what, computer related issues that somebody has, or otherwise.
Excellent. Okay. All right. Okay. Excellent. Thank you, Ms. Ramirez. And you addressed that. My part of my question was, okay, so you go into the office, PUC National, you help solve problems for definitely me and many of our colleagues. And even before the pandemic, your job hasn't changed much because much of what you do is meeting people's needs through email and Zoom and things of that nature. Has it become more virtual than even before the pandemic?
Slightly, yes, slightly more virtual, but we still use these same things. Before we use Microsoft Teams here in the office, but we also have opened up to more video conferencing solutions for depending on what's needed at schools or here in the office, and everybody's needs. But we were able to, even before then, before the pandemic hit, we were still using email messaging. We had Skype at a certain point. They were using Skype a lot. You could do that for calling people. You don't necessarily have to have a desk phone next to you, so you can just call somebody up using video conferencing or not video conferencing. More video conferencing for sure now that there's the pandemic. But yeah, we technically had a lot of these in place. They're just being used probably more across our organization than they were before, but we definitely had them in place before.
Thank you. Next, could we please have we'll go with Darren Bornstein. Mr. Bornstein, will you please share your story, your world experience?
Sure. So let me preface so everybody can understand what I'm about to talk about. I work at OES. By government code or law, we're responsible to reduce the severity of a cyber attack for the entire state of California. By law, that's what we do. So the agency we work at is large. It has a huge responsibility and has a lot of people in it, right? So, and let me address my title so everybody understands it. It says cybersecurity analyst. I am the lead cybersecurity analyst for our organization for the entire state of California. I oversee our two different sides of the cybersecurity realm. You have defensive cyber operations, and you have cybersecurity threat intelligence. Right. So there's two sides of the house. So with that picture painted, what does my day look like? I wake up in the morning and I honestly think of the two sides, and I think of who am I going to get today? We're hunters. We all are hunters. We get up, it's very exciting. We just go, okay, who's the next bad guy? Who are we going to get? Who are we going to stop? Who are we going to protect? And at my level, that's what we think. We go in, and then I'll go over to the two teams because one's defensive and one's, think of it as offensive. That's intel. We'll go look and see who's attacked who over the night. And then we'll go to the intel side and say, okay, give me all of the information you have about indicators of compromise, IP addresses, domains, Twitter handles, Facebook accounts, anything we have that relates back to the activity that happens. And we build this dynamic. Think of it as a case. It's really not a case because we're not law enforcement, but we use the term case. So we build this case or this profile of the event, of the attack, what caused it, how it was caused, how they played it out, who did it, why they did it, what they got. And then we turn all that over, if need be, to law enforcement. It's very exciting. It's very thrilling. We all think of who are we going to help in the state today? Who are we going to get? We just wait. And me and all my, we go to work and we come in the morning and we actually all sit around. We have a Keurig. We all make coffee and we all really actually sit there and go, okay, who are we getting today? We're just hunters. That's in cybersecurity. You have to learn over the years to think like the bad guy without being the bad guy. So I have a lot of what are called certified ethical hackers working for me. They are bad guys, but they're paid to be bad guys on my side of the fence. it's an exciting career. I used to be an ethical hacker many years ago, but now I have more fun helping them determine what they're going to do, set their priorities for the day, give them the objectives and so forth. It's really exciting. Cybersecurity is a lot of fun, but you have to be that type of person that wants to help, but loves the thrill of the hunt. Right? That's me. I'm as old as I am. I still love to hunt. Somebody at the entry level in my career field, it really depends if you're going to go to defensive operations or if you're going to go to cyber threat intelligence. Our intel analysts, they start their day, they bring up all these tools that we have. I'll just name a couple. We have like Recorded Future. That's one of them we use. We have Augury. We have a few others. And they're all these worldwide databases of cyber threat intelligence. And the first thing they do is they go in there and they go hunt. They look at all the information, what's happening in the world, who the bad guys are, profiling them, getting to know their little tricks of the trade, who's doing what, who thinks they're so smart. Then I'll go over here to the other side of the house, and the DCO people, because they're defensive, so they're working on hunting. They're going, well, let me go look at somebody's network and go look at the vulnerabilities. How many holes do they have in their network? How can I help them shore up those holes? What are they? How can I teach them, right? I can feed a person a fish for a day and they eat for a day, but if I teach them how to fish, they live forever, right? So we go there, we look at their networks, we say, okay, here's your problems, but let me teach you how to fix them. And even at the lowest level, they participate in this. They participate in the discovery. They participate in determining what methodologies are used to correct all of those. And everybody works together to come up with a solution and assist the customer, whether it's a gas station owner that has a network, or if it's PUC, or if it's Wells Fargo or PG&E. We help everybody in the state of California. And the neatest thing about that is just a bit of trivia. Everything we do for everybody is at no charge. So these people can come ask us for assistance. Even the PUC, you can come to us and say, hey, we were just Zoom bombed. You know, hopefully it doesn't happen. I don't want to jinx us, but you could come back to us and say, hey, we were Zoom bombed, and we jump in and figure out how they got in, how they got in, what they did, what you can do to prevent it, and all that good stuff. And it's no cost to anybody. And that makes it even more fun because you don't have to worry about somebody going and thinking, I need the help, but I can't afford it. How am I going to fix? Well, I'm going to fix this on the cheap, and it really doesn't get fixed. Well, that's why we do everything at no cost, because we want everybody to enjoy the thrill of the hunt, the thrill of the correction, and the thrill of going to work knowing, I'm more protected today than I was yesterday. So I can offer services like Zoom and virtual classes and everything else virtually, especially in this world of the pandemic. This isn't going away anytime soon. Everybody's had to adjust their lifestyles. We go into the office still. I just came home from the office and I'm in my home office now. Unfortunately, I have both. So this is here to stay. And which means in our world that the amount of cyber threat actors is going to go up. Basically, we see two types of actors. We see the nation state or state sponsored ones, the professional ones, right? Like the Russia-backed ones, the China-backed ones, the people that go after espionage, they go after money, they go after intellectual property, trade secrets. Then, unfortunately, we get the other end of the spectrum where, because everybody is stuck at home, this is a term out there. We didn't make this up. They're called script kiddies. They're the amateur hackers. They get bored. That think, oh wait, PUC is having a Zoom meeting. Let me go Google and see how to break into Zoom. And then, well, I can't get into PUCs, but wait, somebody else is having a Zoom meeting and I get into theirs. Those are the most dangerous ones. The nation state actors we can understand, but it's those amateurs that go in there and they don't mean to destroy everything, but they do. So, but that's what our day's like. That's what our entry-level analysts experience. We throw them into the fire. Our shop, it's baptism by fire. Most all of our analysts have at least an associate's degree. Most of them have bachelor's. I have a master's in information technology management and a bachelor's in cybersecurity. And I have a CISSP and 10 million other certificates. Getting into cybersecurity, having a base knowledge through certificates like Security Plus, A Plus, CISSP, Certified Ethical Hacker are key to your success, but you also have to have that degree. Like I said, our beginning analysts start with at least associates, but they have all these other professional certificates. So your education is key, but don't forget the professional development as well. And I can talk forever, so just next time, just wave your hand and I'll shut up because I can keep going.
You're great. I'm loving it. And I just love that it's always hunting for bad guys. That just sounds so exciting. So very cool. Well, thank you so much. We're going to next go to Ms. Sampawala, and I'm going to just pull over what you shared a little bit here.
So, Mr. Bernstein, you're my hero. Wow. I'm so impressed. Meeting in person somebody, it's like, meeting your favorite movie actor or something. You're just amazing. That
just do what we get paid to do.
No, but it's very inspiring. And as you said, it's a mindset also. That's what I want to tell students too, that it's a mindset. You need to be able to have that mindset to be a cybersecurity analyst, and a lot of training, ongoing training. There's no way you can stop saying, I know everything about it, because there are going to be new ways coming left and right, as creative as the number of people, humans on Earth.
Mm-hmm.
My story, I actually have had lots of years in IT, so wanted to think, oh, how does my day look like? It has varied over the time. I started off at US West, and it was a regular 9-to-5 job. We only got called when your program ran into production first time and it failed. That's only once it happened. But otherwise, it was a 9-to-5 job. You went into the office, you worked with a software development lifecycle. That's what I want to emphasize, the technical skills and the soft skills, Even if all of you had the same technical skills, it would be your soft skills that would get you promotion. Okay, so don't be anything but yourself and your best self. If you're a human and you care about people, you are already equipped to do something worthwhile in the society. And that's what the whole idea about all this slide is, that you could see that the technical skills, you can acquire them anytime. Most of us do. But if you want, let's go to the next one. The second job I had after US West, I took time off, stayed with the family, went to the next one. And this one was in IT director. I mean, after being a programmer and a technical trainer all in one, every year getting a new job or a promotion, I took time off and went back as a director of IT. Why? Because of self-confidence, learning all the time. Okay, my husband is in the same field, so I was always absorbing knowledge. I wasn't really taking time off, but other than being with family and not having a work and a paycheck. But I was always interested in data modeling and things like that. If you have ever done data modeling, which is what I have specified there, you can't just go around being a baseline director, meaning setting standards for all IT people to follow. You have to know a lot of standards. You have to be able to negotiate. You have to have standards written in a way that is acceptable. So that was what I was doing, facilitating those, making them acceptable. You just don't come up with policies and procedures for people to follow. You need to have their buy-in. And that's where my skill sets were, to getting there by. And I literally 40 hours was at work, but then by that time we had some way of connecting through internet. So I did all my emails 2-3 hours in the evening, because you have to catch up every day to be ready for tomorrow. You can't leave work half done. So there was no way I was going to bed before taking care of everything that I needed to get done that day. Okay, so that's where the 60 hours comes. The next one I had was at Okay, so now I had almost had enough of IT because I never really wanted to be a career woman. I wanted to be a nice Indian housewife with family and everything. So I went back to that role. But then sitting at home and with children going to school, I had nothing else to do when they were at school. So I went and volunteered myself and did a lot of work. I had 200 users. I moved them from the DOS WordPerfect environment to the Windows Microsoft Office environment and learning everything on my own. There was no training or something, and all their macros, which they had in WordPerfect, I started writing them in Word. And it's not just like, hey, I'm giving you the new thing. They don't want the new thing. They want the thing that they're used to. So that's where I learned how to manage change. I have to appeal to their needs. I have to know what they exactly love about their old system and why they should move to the new system. And that's where I said, okay, my goodness, I was retired, I'm doing nothing, and this is what I'm doing really. It's like trying to change their mindset. So I felt very good doing that as to making them accept the new environment, look at the Outlook, look at the Word, look at Excel. Excel did some small businesses, applications for them. And that was about like, I spent there 20 years or something. But by the time my children are adults, they have a job, they have a college, and I was again left doing nothing. There was no need to balance anything. So I could dive in completely. So I started looking at this academic job. I go, now all my energy, so I work literally 80 hours or 120 hours, I don't know how many hours a week, night and day, I am submerged in making sure I have programs that will enable students to take advantage of the technology jobs available. There are literally, there's no field, no profession where you do not need to use technology. Name one, and I could give you $100 right now. Any field where you do not use technology, just name it, you know. So please don't name 2, 3 of them. 500 is a top, but I would say it is impossible. Doctors, nurses, bankers, actors, everybody, even teenagers need devices and technology to keep connected, you know. And the pandemic, it has showed us anything that it's here to stay, technology. There's no option, and it's growing. You think you have everything with a Zoom that you can talk to anybody across the whole universe, wherever we saw the landing of the rover on Mars, right? Actual pictures actually happening at that time. With VR and with AI and with machine learning, it's going to be like reality will be something that you will question. What is virtual reality? What is reality? What is this like? And these skill sets and these jobs, they don't have a job description yet. You are going to be defining it. You are going to be creating them. So, I mean, I can't imagine a better time to be a teenager and going and finding my own way. That's it. I mean, this is, how does your day look? It'll look on what you're doing. You could be, if you go online, look at what Google people say. They are living in a room, they do their thinking, they play with toys, they have free food over there in the offices, they are just doing some, and my son, he's in IT and he's in advertisement, and he can be at Manila on a beach with his in-laws, or he could be here, and or he could be in Iceland with his wife for a third honeymoon or something, and he's continuously working. The flexibility, the mobility, and nobody really needs to know who you really are or are not to be able to work now. So they don't look at your skin color when you're working remotely. They're not looking at what abilities or disabilities you bring to the table. They just are task-oriented now. So it's a very different world out there. I think technology will level the playing ground. And as he apologized, I will have to apologize. I can go on speaking forever, so I'll be quiet. But we have 4 new programs. I mean, in 5 years being a full-time tenured, I created 4 new programs because nobody comes to computer science. They don't want the science. They don't want STEM. So these programs are not for STEM students only. It is for STEM students, but not only. You could get a computer programming, full stack developer, I believe I heard Ms. Ramirez say about HTML. That's what full stack programming is, HTML, CSS, and you can get a job. Just get the certificate and get internship in the certificate that you have achieved. You can get entry-level job, you can get internship in any of these 4 fields. Cloud computing, all textbooks free, all materials free. You just have to take those 4 core courses. We will also pay currently for your vouchers to appear for the industry certificates and then help you find a job, you know? So these are jobs for people who do not know what they want to do, but are interested in getting somewhere at, or as one of my sons said, all I want to do is make money, mom. Show me how do I make money. So these are money-making jobs, okay? These are jobs, but as a parent and as a educator, I would say don't stop, get a job of your interest in the field of your interest and continue your bachelor's and master's, because that's where you get more credibility and more pay. I mean, there's a big despairing gap between pay without those degrees also. So, but all of these 4 programs that I have listed, computer programmer, cybersecurity associate, which is just A+, network plus, security plus, full stack development, which is web application using HTML, CSS, and some JavaScript, and cloud computing. They are very easy. And that's what I'm here to sell, is these easy certificates, which if you start as a high schooler, you will end up in a year completing it, a semester or a year. So these are not 2-year associate degrees. These are 1-year certificates.
We had
If you start at high school.
a question, just I wanted to clarify. These are programs available at LA Mission College?
Yes.
Awesome.
Yes.
Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you, Amy. And I was going to add to that, because students, you have, if you are a PUC high school student, or not a PUC high school student, but a high school student in LA County, at any of the LAUSD schools, PUC school students, LAUSD students, you can get these certificates while you're in high school as dual enrollment. So for free, you can take these classes for free and graduate and come out of high school, or while you're in high school, if you complete them while you're in high school, get a job at this higher certificate pay as you're figuring out what you want to be. So, I mean, amazing timing, awesome program. LA Mission College, talk to your school counselor about it, or after this webinar, I'll also be sending out a link and an email to anyone that completes the survey with information about about apprenticeships, about LA Mission College's program, and other resources for you. But thank you for sharing that info. I'm loving that I can just drag it back and forth. All right, so thank you for that piece. Time check, it is 5:41. So we are a little bit over 15 minutes until the end of this presentation. I think one really big thing that students want to know is real advice as to, I know Ms. Sampawala talked about soft skills, talked about technical skills. When it comes to students interested in pursuing an IT career, whether it be cybersecurity, whether it be other fields, what are some real steps they might be able to take, or what you recommend for them while we are here on this call? Let's hear, I'm going to start back with, I don't think I started with Mr. Bornstein yet. Let's go with you first, please.
All right. So in the interest of time, what can students do? You're in high school, go talk to your counselor. Like I said, there are 6 or 7 classes that I know of that are in your current high school curriculum that address cybersecurity careers. There's a English writing course that deals with cybersecurity. There's a math course, there's geometry, there's, all kinds of classes. There's 6 or 7 of them. You can go to UCOP, Google it. You'll see that they're there. So go talk to your guidance counselor. If you're really interested in cybersecurity, besides taking those, go look at the A+. That's an easy one. It gives you a fundamentals of how computers work, how they operate, so you can understand what the bad guys are looking at. If you have a chance for internships, either in high school or out of high school while you're in college, take advantage of internships. Sure, it's free work. You've had people that'll say, oh, I'm working for free, but you're not, because that life experience you get during an internship, you get to see how the professional environment works, how a threat hunter works, how an operator works, how security measures are employed at a location. You get to understand sometimes how people think that management sees cybersecurity as a cost center and they really don't want to implement it. And then lo and behold, 2 months later, they're hit. And then they're screaming, oh my God, the world is falling. Who did this? What happened? And then they realize it's because they didn't want to listen to the advice and implement the cybersecurity controls. It's all about controls. It's all about security. And unfortunately, still in our world, everybody sees cybersecurity and IT as a cost center because they don't understand the direct relationship between IT, security, and profit or business, development. But go look at your curriculum. Go take advantage of internships. They're all over the place. We have internships. I know down in LA, talk to LA Cyber Center. They'll get you in touch with a bunch of places that do internships. That's a great look. Go check them out. It's a great little organization there. But that's my advice for somebody starting out. There's a lot more, and anybody that wants to know more can go through the coordinators here and get a hold of us, and we'll talk your ears off.
Excellent. Thank you so much. How about now you, Ms. Ramirez? Anything you'd like to add, please?
All fantastic points, Mr. Bornstein. I have to agree. Definitely see what is available to you. My personal advice is try things out. That's what I did. I kind of tried a couple classes, see what you like, see what you don't like. You don't necessarily, you can always, you can always change out of a class, or you can always, try something new. You never know. Definitely try to see what works and what doesn't for you. It will definitely narrow your view on what you would like to move forward with, and it's very helpful. And even having regular retail jobs and smaller jobs that you don't think will ever actually help you in the future. Any job you have, any skill that you gain from that is setting you up for success in the future. Retail jobs, that's customer service. If you know how to speak to a person, you're already a step ahead of everybody. That works too. So yeah, see what you go out there, ask questions. It's always good. I encourage everyone to ask questions. Never feel like a question is not good enough or is, might be dumb or something like that. That is not the case. Always ask questions. If you're curious, the best way to find out is to ask that question.
Great advice. And you're right. No matter what job you have, and even like Mr. Bornstein was talking about, working for free, you may say it's free, but you are networking and getting people who could write you letters of recommend you for a job. And like Ms. Ramirez said, when you're working, whether it be, I got a job at In-N-Out Burger, and yes, I am hungry for dinner like all of you, but you learn how to deal with people's problems, how to deal with different types of people, how to work with a manager, all of these different jobs, no matter where you work, it's a learning experience. So great advice. And Ms. Sampawala, if you would please share, I have one slide with regards to this in terms of.
Well, first of all, to add to Ms. Ramirez's, it's very important that you take a step forward. That's what I would say. Just make sure you're taking a step forward every day. Don't stand there thinking, I don't know what to do. At that time, as Mr. Bornstein already guided you, speak to a counselor. We are here. We are always available. We are very eager to help. Do you know my office hours are only 10% occupied by students? I mean, you're wasting my time. You're paying me to waste my time, So ask counselors, reach out, take a step every day towards your future. Just want to emphasize that. There's nobody who's going to do that for you. You have to take those steps, okay? And you'll find that it is fun. One thing leads to the other. life will remain a mystery and an adventure, and more so because now you don't have anybody guiding you. We don't know what the tools are out there. I cannot even tell. I mean, my own children, I couldn't guide them because they know more about what is out there than what I am used to thinking about what is out there. And people, I mean, people make money with apps, they make with Twitter accounts, they make money in such different ways that I wouldn't be able to guide you that way. If you are interested in academic, I can tell you exactly what to do. Start from your high school, take courses, and as Ms. Ramirez mentioned, take any course, take it for a semester, complete the course. I would not say quit the course, complete that course and then switch to another one. I mean, I went from being a sculptor to physics to IT. Find something that you love. As soon as you love, if you would not question, am I spending 40 hours or 80 hours on this? You will be yourself joyously immersed in the career of your choice. And that's what I wish for you, to find something that resonates with you. And trust me, at that time, nobody else would be able to do that job as you would. So have great confidence in yourself and your self-esteem, and just do your best to take one step every day, get closer to your own goal.
Thank you. Thank you. And I think that's key. I think so many students say, I don't know what I'm going to major in. I'm a senior, and that's fine. But it is your job now. That means 6th through 12th grade to take classes, to look things up. I always say, I don't know what the stat is right now with regards to the number of hours we'll spend online, especially during this pandemic. Hold on, I'm trying to get this down here. But when it comes to just carving out a fraction of that time to invest in yourself by looking up people, I mean, there's TikToks about everything these days. There's YouTube videos. You just look up the field and see who's hot in it right now, or a story about it, and you can learn something. And then, like all of you have said, all of our experts have said, ask questions. How do I learn more? What are resources? I did not know about LA Cyber Center. I'm going to look that up and send that link to you in our post webinar email. I'm going to send you some resources for anyone who completes the survey, which will go out shortly. But it is your job to invest a chunk of your time to figuring out, what do I love and what do I hate? It's just as important to take something and know, like, I tried it. And you'll see in the survey, sometimes I ask, is this something you see yourself in? Or do you need more information? Or did you figure out, like, hey, maybe I learned about IT and that's not what I want to do. Whatever it may be, it's all very, very, very important. So thank you for this great advice you've provided with regards to pursuing careers in your industry. Now I'd like to open it up to Ms. Villasenor. I believe you've been mining the chat. Can you bring some of the questions to our panel?
Yes. The students or everyone watching, if you could please continue sending your questions in through the chat. We've only got a couple so far, and so those are going to get addressed now, but please send them in, and then if I'm noticing similarities, we'll start kind of like glossing through them and picking out, common themes. I think this is a fair question for whoever can speak to it. A student would like to know what type of money one could safely expect to earn annually in the IT industry with an associate's versus a bachelor's or a master's. Maybe if you could just speak to general kind of, salary fields or pay rates. Yeah, start with that one.
Okay, well, I can tell you what we've seen and what we've experienced. To be honest with you, the real money in cybersecurity doesn't come until you have your bachelor's and a few of the key certificates. Usually starts out, cybersecurity is not, people who goes in cybersecurity, they're not in it for the money. They're in it for the thrill of the hunt. Usually starts out around, I would say 60. The median offering is usually about 6 figures, maybe 120, 140 by the time you have about 4 or 5 years under your belt. So you can see that in cybersecurity, your initial pay scale is fairly low it's not bad. It's about 60 or so. But within a few years, because of the experience and the certificates and the training you'll get, it about doubles. So after about 4 or 5 years, if you're looking for 6 figures plus, it's cybersecurity. And right now, cyber, we're short. What was that? I'm trying to remember what that survey said. GoBiz did it. Nationally, we're short, I think it was 526,000 cybersecurity professionals. So there's definitely opportunity.
Love to hear it. That's
Wow.
awesome. Anybody else have some insight on the industry they're in about pay?
I don't have the website. I will send it out later to Nicole, but there is a website which shows exactly with your education and which field, how much salary you will be making. And if I remember correctly, and I'm going on record, I know, but so I'll have this class. If I remember correctly, it's anywhere between 40 to 60 for starting associate or something, or a certificate. Any associate degree can be backed by an industry certificate. Remember that. So just don't take a PC maintenance class and troubleshooting class and not take the A+ certification and things like that. So back up all your education with industry specified certificates. They hold much more value. And I would say 40 to 60 and entry level jobs. And if you continue on, and which most of them do, even the cloud computing, the latest program I created with AWS as partners, they would hire on their website. They have that jobs industries looking for graduates who get this certificate and that certificate, and they have internship opportunities. And once they're there, they allow you to complete your bachelor's while working and master's while you're working. So they support. All organizations realize the importance of higher education. And most of my students are professionals already in the field of their interest, getting their certificate. And it is 6 figures, no question, very quickly. 2 to 3 years, I mean, you're there.
Awesome, thank you.
Wow, that's tremendous growth
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
with not as much experience as many other fields for you to get to 6 figures, which means over $100,000, people.
About 4 years.
Yeah.
And this is not a doctorate degree or something which will take you like 7, 8 years. We're talking about high school plus a year or 2 at the most. This is the only field. IT is the only field where you can get by with a job with an associate. You know.
Interesting.
I know working with PUC, and I think it's important to consider when you are looking at places to work, experience and pay, but also, you know, how they take care of their employees and corporate culture as well. I know at least working with PUC as a nonprofit, you know, we get all these types of health benefits and other, you know, perks and things that come with the job. And that's something that's also important to consider as well when you're starting out. Like, will you have life insurance? Do you have dental? Just make sure you take those things into consideration when you're, you know, picking the place you want to work at and what you want to get out of your job.
I mean, let's put a number on those benefits. They are around $30,000 to $40,000 a year. Those benefits account for. If you had to pay yourself for medical and all, the benefits are a big deal of the whole thing.
Great point. Great point.
Yes. A lot of you have mentioned these certificates. You've thrown out some titles and names and things. I know I'm curious, and I'm sure some of the students have mentioned curiosity. You know, if they want to pursue these certificates, is there like a hub somewhere that lists them all out and where you can get them, or what's the deal? How do I find them?
So some of them in our area, there's an organization called CompTIA, CompTIA. That's where you can go to take your A+, your Security Plus, your basic cybersecurity analyst course. You can also take there. You have to Google it. I haven't seen of any location, and I'm not a professional educator, so somebody might get on here and say, yeah, here's a website, here's a area you can go. But CompTIA is a good place to start. Then you can go just Google certified ethical hacker. There's the SANS Institute, and that's higher level certificates. ISC squared, very high level certificates, master's level certificates. in your CISSP and your cloud search and so forth. There's all kinds of things you can do, but I am not aware of one place you can go. Well, I'll leave that to the educators.
I will, again, if you complete the survey, I will get some of the resources from Ms. Sampawala, as well as look up some of the resources that Mr. Bornstein provided, and I will be able to provide that. I will send you a direct email, just you have to complete the survey so I know your email.
Yeah.
But great questions.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so the A+, Network Plus, Security Plus, and the Cloud Practitioner and the Solutions Architect in AWS, all these industry certificates. Currently, we have some strong workforce dollars where we are looking into providing students at least 50% vouchers. So when they take the course, if we purchase the course material with the CompTIA or with using their academy or using Oracle Academy or using AWS Academy, we get also vouchers for them to take once they complete the course, the industry certificate. So it's all packaged. And we also currently have partnered with Job Speaker and some other company, what is it called? Connect. Anyway, it'll come to me when I'm not thinking, but they are going to help you bring up your resume, how to write your resume, how to have mock interviews, phone interviews, because now you just don't have one interview. You have all kinds of interviews. So they'll just call you by phone, then they'll have a Zoom meeting, then they'll ask you to come in person and things like that. And there are like various levels of interviews that happen. And they ask questions, not just technical, but all over everywhere. They want to know if you are a good fit for their company, whether you have the analytical skills and things like that. So we have partnered with somebody who provides you those kind of training also, along with the technical training that I provide. So we are partnering with them to make sure that our students are not only getting the certificates, but also ready for job.
Excellent. Excellent.
Thank you.
And I just want to be cognizant, it is 6 o'clock on the nose right now. So I just want to say, our presenters, thank you so much for, again, you worked all day. You might even have work after this, but you made time to be here for PUC students. We're very, very thankful to you. And again, Ms. Villasenor is going to share the survey. If you haven't already, I haven't been looking at the chat. I haven't been paying attention.
I shared it. It's in the chat right now.
Excellent. So if you would complete the chat, students, and then by noon tomorrow, I will send you a follow-up email that will have many of these resources. And bottom line, we are here at PUC to make sure that you are empowered to make career decisions and get you in these classes. You don't have to say, gosh, I didn't write everything down today. I'll send you that email. This will also go to the school and college counselors so that they know those resources. And if you're a middle school student, when I send you the email, if you're looking for questions, you send it back to me and I'll help you, since we don't have school and college counselors at the middle schools, but I am here to help. We are so thankful for everyone's time. Thank you, Ms. Amy, Ms. Villasenor, for helping field the questions. Again, round of applause virtually to our amazing presenters. I can't thank you enough for the expertise, insight, and just all that you've shared today. It's a gift and a pleasure.
Yes,
You're welcome.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yes. Thank you for having us.
Yeah, I'm glad you were both here too. Enjoyed meeting you. So
Yes.
Nice meeting everyone.
Very nice meeting
you.
everyone as well.
Well, wonderful. I'll stay on the call. Y'all are welcome to go. And then again, by noon tomorrow, I'll send out a follow-up email to all of those that complete the survey with all the resources mentioned.
goodbye.
Goodbye. Thank you.
I can hang out for a minute if somebody had a question.
Yeah, someone did have a question actually, Mr.
I don't mind.
Bornstein. They wanted to know what determines what cases you choose. They followed up with, how do you decide what events or issues you build cases on, or how do they build cases on anything that looks suspicious? I think they want to know what that's about.
How do we choose?
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's not haphazard or random. We have these things called priority intelligence requirements that set our focus. That says, we're responsible for all of California, so we need to focus on, there's these, I'm trying not to get too deep into it. There's these things called the 16 critical infrastructures within California. It's broken up by Department of Homeland Security. For example, you have energy, you have water and dams, you have wastewater, you have education, you have finance, right? There's 16 of these things. So they set our focus, and those priorities from higher above has said, you know, energy is more important than finance. And the people in the finance field are going, oh my God, why? But think about it. Without energy, then there's no telecommunications, there's no internet, there's no banks. If the internet goes down and the energy goes down, the dams stop pumping water, wastewater recycling stops, right? Everything stops. So that's how we determine, we use that criticality to figure out who we're going after. And then, like I said, we have two sides, the defensive guys and the cyber threat intelligence people. They're the ones that are always going out there looking at the trail of the breadcrumbs. They're like, who's done what? Who's left a little indicator? Who's left a teaser? You know, who's dared me to find them, right? We have to have that mentality. And then they go hunt and they peck and they find, and then we have meetings and going, hey, I noticed these guys doing this to these people, or these people did that. And we just go get them. That's how we decide.
Thank you. That's so interesting. I don't know anything about this, so I'm learning too. There are no other questions that are coming in. So that's all for the Q&A questions that anyone has sent in.
So I just had one more thing to leave with the PUC is, if there are any classes, well, because right now traveling is hard because of COVID-19, right, and everything, but we do offer free cybersecurity awareness training to middle school and high school and so forth. So like middle school, we use that safeandsecureonline.org. It's by IC Squared. I was talking about Garfield. When we can travel, what we used to do is go to middle school classes, and there's a presentation and workbooks and stickers, and there's a video, and we talk about the dark web and cybersecurity and how to stay safe. And it's a whole approved curriculum by IC Squared. We don't make it up, but it's Garfield. And so we do that for the middle school. They're the ones that are dangerous to teach. I'll give you an example. My daughter, when she was in middle school, I went and taught a class. Well, I educate my kids on the internet, the network, how things go, right? Ones and zeros, bits and bytes, right? How data really looks when it's transmitted. So I just finished telling that to my daughter. I go to the class the next day to teach cybersecurity, the dark web and the deep web, and don't leave pictures here and this and that, right? And be nice and have web etiquette. And then my daughter, little smart aleck that she is, raises her hand, and I go, yes. And nobody knows she's my daughter. She goes, so why are you teaching us all about this? Didn't you tell me the internet's nothing but ones and zeros? Why do we care about all this? And I just went, oh my God. Because everybody in the class went, ones and zeros, what's he talking about?
That's so important, though. I think, especially, I've seen the trend of young people using the website like Omegle, you know, where you could talk with strangers, but then someone is able to figure out where their IP address and like, oh yeah, so you live in Kentucky and this little, and it's just, there's all kinds of stuff that, you know, can seem innocent or fun, like, oh yeah, everyone's been going on this website, but you don't realize sometimes the more serious ramifications of that. Yeah,
my daughters are scared of me because I literally, on my home network, I can tell when they log on, where they log off, where they go, their usernames, their passwords, how long they've been on, who's chatted with them, what IP address all the information went to. And I even really scared her one day. She posted a picture and she knew she shouldn't have, and she deleted it. And I heard about it. She went, oh, I deleted that picture. I went to work, printed the picture from the internet that she deleted and showed it to her.
That's scary. That freaks me out.
Amazing.
I don't like it.
And she said, where'd you get that picture? I said, I can find anything you put there. It never disappears. You might delete it. You might delete it. That just unindexes it. It like takes it out of like if you rip a page out of a book. Okay. Or let me take that back. If you're looking at a book and you take a marker and you go to the table of contents and you scratch out the first chapter. Okay. So I can't look at the table of contents and find that first chapter, but I can open that book and it's there.
Right. It's amazing. You know, I think about it. I'm older, so I didn't have all of this social media and posting a picture
You're
when I
older,
was
look at
younger.
me.
But I'm so thankful you don't, because it never goes away. Your rant, your rave, your being upset and then taking it down really is never down. Someone can access it, find it. An employer later can find it if they're looking for it. So the role and you know, even Miss Ramirez and her team at PUC, we went from overnight to using laptop carts for computer usage occasionally to, hello, we're pandemic and now we're on it 24/7. And if something goes wrong, they can push something out to the computers. We have to fix things. We can tell where everyone is searched. It's just an amazing world we live in now that I couldn't have imagined when I was in high school, and is fascinating to, like all of you said, it's nonstop learning.
Yep.
And it's only going to get greater and bigger, and we'll build from this. So it's an exciting time. All of you that have chosen to stick around, if that at all piques your interest, please, please, please make sure either email me or talk to your counselors. We'll get you connected with these resources. Start dabbling with some of these courses. You can sign up for summer college courses for free and just do it. Have a job outside the home and then do these courses for free to get a taste and get some of these certifications started, or to see what it's like. It's
Well,
amazing.
send them a link to Cybrary as well.
Library. Okay.
Cybrary, it's free. They go out there and there's millions and millions of cyber courses out there. Cybrary is free.
I think like your industry has the coolest name, like Script Kitty and Cybrary and all these things. It's like super fun, cool names. Can't wait to look at them.
Yeah, but give them Cybrary. I'm telling you, there's all kinds of courses and it doesn't cost anything and they can read till their heart's content.
Will do. And please know Miss Sempawala has already emailed me resources to send out to y'all. So she's just as excited as all this. But again, you're protecting the whole state, you and your team, and still made time for PUC students today. Thank you so much.
Oh,
and
you're
to
welcome.
bring the energy that you have, it speaks to, you know, Miss Ramirez, Mr. Bornstein, and Miss Sempawala all like are completely passionate about what you do. And it's awesome.
Yeah, that's what we do. Like I
I
said,
feel like you guys should have some kind of logo like this for like cybersecurity. Like,
we actually do.
see, and I'm not in marketing, school counseling. I just still feel like it is just so fascinating what y'all do.
If I remember, I'll send you a picture of the thing.
Please, please do. Excellent. Well, this
All right.
is time, guys. It's 6:11. I've got to log off now because I've got a 4.5-year-old on the other side of the door. And just can't thank you enough for being here. I'll send that email out with the resources tomorrow. Ms. Ramirez, Mr. Bornstein, you guys are rock stars. Thank you, Ms. Villasenor, and all of you PUC students and guests. Thank you for being a part of today. So thankful. Have a great night, everybody.
Take
Good
care.
night, everyone.
Good night.